Alright guys, welcome back to another video. This is the 2020 BMW M850i Coupe. Now, this car, is a very special car. This is in some way a successor of the previous generations of the 6 Series lineup, right? So the 8 Series used to be in BMW's lineup, decades ago, but they discontinued it, brought in the 6 Series. And the 6 Series has been around for quite a while, but now the 8 Series is back, the 6 Series is gone, and now the base level for the 8 Series, you get this V8, right? The M850i has a 4.4 liter twin-turbo V8 that produces 523 horsepower and 553 foot-pounds of torque. And with those numbers, this could get from 0 to 100 in 3.5 seconds, right? This is a heavy car, not very heavy, but I mean, it is a big car, and for it to get from 0 to 100 in sub 3 seconds is just really amazing. Supercars just a few years ago weren't even doing those numbers. So that's really, you could just, imagine the power that is, in this car. Obviously, it's the xDrive. That's the only one that you could get for the 8 Series, so it's all 4 wheels. The thing about the M850i is it comes standard with a lot of options anyways, M aerodynamics, lumbar support, memory seats, dual zone climate control, I mean, you name it. Heads up display, gesture control, integral active steering, which is their 4-wheel steering. And basically there's only one package that BMW offers for this car that has all the options, which is the executive package. It's only $4,000 and has about 4 to 5 things, which includes the advanced driver's assistance, the traffic jam assistant, as well as the crystal glass shifters, and among other things as well that we will go through. So again, this is a heavy loaded car. I mean, this as it sits has an MSRP, has a starting MSRP of 125, just south of $125,000 Canadian, and this one as it sits as spec'd is about $132,000. So I mean, it has everything as a host of options. It also has the carbon fiber roof option, which is a $3,000 option in itself that gets you a carbon fiber roof, which is absolutely amazing. We'll check it out right now. But again, starting in the front, this obviously has the signature BMW laser lights that I've talked about for a bit. Again, it gives you double the distance, which is very nice. There's no fog lights, obviously. I mean, this is an M8 M Performance Division car, no fog lights. You have your dual active kidney grills. These grills are actually very nice in terms of the proportions of the car. If BMW could just do that with all the other cars, it's just really good. But this is perfectly proportioned. Again, it's active. When the car needs more cooling, it will open up. More aerodynamics, it'll flow right over the car, which is nice. Again, at the bottom, you see the radar for the adaptive cruise control, and you see, it's all open from the bottom in the mesh, obviously to get this car as much cooling and airflow as possible. And as you can see, generally, this has a very, very striking look. I think this is probably one of the best looking models in BMW's lineup. Just the low end, the dip in the front of the car, which is just absolutely amazing. And these are the wheels that come standard on the BMW M850i. They're the MY spoke wheels. These ones are performance tires that are wrapped around these wheels. They're not run flats on this one, but they are performance tires. 245s in the front, 275s in the back, wrapped in 21-inch wheels, right? So they're nice big wheels. Exterior color, as you can see, is finished off in Tanzanite blue metallic, which is an individual, which is a special paint option. And this absolutely looks, amazing. This looks very similar to the carbon blue metallic that BMW offers as well, but it has a slightly more blue tint to it, which makes this car really, really stand out. And even from the back, I mean, this car just has, a beautiful presence to it. Again, BMW's, 3D design headlights, very, 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 very nice car. As you can see, again, since this is the M Performance division, all the badges are in this matte finish, this matte gold finish, which you guys know from my M340i video. Again, M850i, you know, telling you that, you know, this is an M Performance. 50i has the 4.4 liter V8. And obviously you have your exhaust tips. Again, the surrounds are fake, but you actually see the real exhaust in the back, and you can hear the startup. The startup is definitely need to be heard for this one, so let's start it up. And as you can see here, you know, the side vents, it's closed off at the back, and BMW really does that. I mean, everyone kind of has gotten used to it now. If you just kick underneath, you know, the car will open up, automatic. As you can see here, you have all the storage space. When you're looking at storage numbers, I believe this car has about 14.8 cubic feet of space. It's not too much in terms of, you know, the height is not a lot. Also, the opening is pretty wide, but not as deep. But, you know, again, you got to understand this is a coupe, right? So, you know, for the amount of, it is pretty deep, but it's just not as open as you could see. If you're, you know, again, automatic driving, you know, trunk, close it up, everything's good to go. I'm still, you know, very, very surprised about this exterior. It's not surprised, but really, really, you know, amazed from this exterior color. And as you can see right now, with the integral active steering, you could just slightly see that the wheels are actually turned a little bit. The rear wheels are turned a little bit inwards from the integral active steering, because at a stop or at low speeds, the rear wheels actually turn in the opposite direction. So if you see here, this one's actually turned out just a bit, which is pretty cool to see if you look at it in person. But again, it's more obvious while driving. So again, comfort access, I mean, that's something that's standard. You just put your finger on the door here, it's locked, right? The mirrors fold in. Again, we talked about this in the other BMW videos quite a few times. Put your hand behind, it opens up, the light opens up, and you step in over here. You see you have your illuminated side sills, right? It says M850i, it says carbon core as well. This has a carbon, chassis, as you could say, which is very cool. I believe the 7 Series does it as well. Over here you have, you know, your ambient lighting, you know, the silver trim pieces. This has the Harman Kardon sound system as part of the executive package. I believe this is missing the optional Bowers & Wilkins sound system. Bowers & Wilkins sound system, which is, BMW sometimes does Bang & Olufsen or Bowers & Wilkins for some of their models. So it could get sometimes confusing, but it's missing the optional upgraded sound system. I know that for sure. You have your 2-person memory seats, you know, lock and unlock, your window buttons. Obviously it's a coupe, so you only have 2. It's up and down automatic for all 4, all 2, which makes sense. You have your trunk release button here. These are in in black plastic pieces, which I'm surprised, because, you know, cars like the X7 or the 7 Series have it in the galvanic controls, galvanic buttons. But you know, this is an 8 Series. I should have that, but nonetheless, this has the extended merino leather. Premium merino leather, the BMW individual. It's very, very soft. You know, it's very nice material. It's perforated. You know, it's heated and cooled seats, which is pretty cool. Heated and cooled. You have your seat adjustments over there as well. And yeah, it looks pretty nice. Let's step in though. has a low step in height, but the seat is also pretty low right now as well. So I'm just gonna adjust it. As you can see, the grab handles there. Just quickly close it. First impressions actually looking into this, just because you know, what I'm looking at, the window is actually pretty small. Sports performance coupe, you know, BMWs usually have that. It's a shorter windshield. It's not, you're not losing any visibility or anything like that, but it is a small windshield and you notice it, but it's nothing too crazy. I mean, you would kind of want to expect that. Over here, as you can see, is the iDrive 7.0. As you can see, unlike many other BMWs, this is actually a slightly different design. You know, it has like these cuts on the edges as well, and even this the middle design language is kind of like coming in like that. And this is very reminiscent of the previous generation 6 Series. The 6 Series had a slightly different interior, just like slightly different placement of the the infotainment. The overall design of the center console was different in the 6 Series, and they've translated that here in the 8 Series as well. So you know that this shares a lot of cues from the previous generation 6 Series, which is nice because that's what it was all about. Here, looking in the middle, very you could see the heated cooled cup seats. You press that, you could turn on your ventilation or your heated seats, which is nice. You have to choose which one you want to go to, which is pretty cool. Over here in the infotainment, you could select it. You have all your typical climate control buttons, very similar to BMW. This also has BMW's the crystal shifter. You have your glass shifter. You have a little 8 Series thing inside, which looks so cool in person. It's slightly illuminated. It feels nice to hold. You have your start stop button, which is also in glass, and also your dial for your iDrive 7 is also in glass, which looks really nice. I talked about this in the X7. How if it's not this, it's usually in black plastic, and against the gloss black around it, kind of looked off, but in this glass it really ties in everything very well. Again, since this is an M Performance division car, there's an M logo embedded into the gear shifter logos, which is pretty cool. You don't see that in the M Sport line cars either. And generally looking at the steering wheel, this has the adaptive cruise control, so you see these little the adaptive cruise control with the driver assistance. So you see you have the LED lights that tell you what to put your hands on your steering wheel on the steering wheel or not, and you also have that radar watching you. You can see it's actually on right now. It's pulsing purple, which you obviously you don't see in person. Only the camera picks it up. And again, very similar gauge cluster. You have a little M850i logo there. All M Performance division cars have that. Yeah, ambient lighting looks very nice. Obviously, ambient lighting runs through all the way here. It's just a little bit on the it's low. It's turned off in the middle right now. You have your presets again. This is still the same iDrive 7, so I'm not going to go into it again. If you want to go into it, definitely look at the other BMW videos, specifically the M340i or the X5. Again, driver assistance is all here. You have your cup holders. They're not heated and cooled. I don't remember if it's an option on the 8 Series or not. It should be, but if it's not option here, I don't think it's available. But again, wireless charging port, which is nice. You have your storage compartment, which is slightly bigger than other cars, which is nice. And most importantly, at least for me, there is the carbon fiber trim, which is just absolutely amazing. I'm a big fan of carbon fiber. It's not a lot of carbon fiber, to be really honest. They should have, the carbon fiber is only here. They should have put it around here all the way on the top or whatever, but they haven't done that, which is surprising. But nonetheless, this is a $500 option, which is still good. Other manufacturers charge you a lot more for carbon fiber, but the carbon fiber looks really nice. It really ties in together with this M Performance car. Actually, when you close this, there you go. There's the rest of the carbon fiber, right? Which looks absolutely amazing. I don't know how you can not love carbon fiber. You have frameless, windshield, which is nice. Rear view mirror, which is nice. Again, Alcantara roof liner. And the rear seats, as I'm told from Denver here at Parkview BMW, helped me, helped arrange all this. Definitely check him out if you want to, get into a BMW. But the rear seats are less than that. The space in the 430i, the new 2021 430i coupes, have more rear space than the M850i. So the M850i rear seats are almost useless. I'm not going to bother going back there. I know I'm not going to be able to fit properly. But there are seat belts. There are child, tether hooks and child, car seat latches, which is nice. So if you want to toss your kid back there, feel free to do so. There's no other climate vent back there as well. And obviously because of that, there's and because this portion is kind of connected to the middle, there's no middle seat, which makes sense. This is a 4-seater. Again, because of the carbon fiber roof, there's no sunroof or anything. That's honestly a personal preference. If you don't want, if you like sunroof, if you want a little bit of, light inside the cabin, then you should definitely just stick with what's standard. Me personally, I would actually go with the carbon fiber roof. I think that just looks absolutely epic, which I forgot to show you guys, which is, disappointing on my end. Again, it pulses to let other people know that your door's open. But here you go, the carbon fiber roof, which is just, a huge piece of carbon fiber just on top of the glass. It's nicely indented as well to let air pass through, but it's just, I think that's one of the most coolest options that you could get. And if you look at it against the Tanzanite blue, translates very well. It looks awesome. That's pretty much it. Again, heads-up display, we talked about this. But I think that's enough of looking around this car. I know you guys are eager. Let's take this beastie V8 out on the road. Guys, so I just left Parkview BMW in the M850i Coupe, and I'm already excited for this because this has a big 4.4 liter twin-turbo V8. Again, 523 horsepower, 553 foot-pounds of torque. So there's a lot of power in this thing, and it's a coupe. It's relatively lighter than its cabriolet or Grand Coupe. Brothers. Comfort, performance, and interior dynamics. Comfort, right off the bat, it's an 8 Series nonetheless, right? So there is a sense of comfort. Again, it is an M Performance Division car, so there is some road noise, and you feel a little bit of the cracks on the road. But that's the 8 Series is generally a comfortable car as well. But again, because it's slightly like a Grand Tour, it's a big car, comfortable. The Grand Coupe, like the 6 Series, previous generation, even this generation, the 8 Series Grand Coupe. These are very executive style, sedans. After the 850i Grand Coupe, you're looking at the 7 Series if you want a sedan that's comfortable. But the reason why this one's a little bit more, kind of like, not rough, not hard to daily drive, none of that. The reason why you feel a little bit of more road is because this one's running on performance tires, right? Still a very, very nice car to drive, comfort wise. The steering wheel for an M Performance Division car, it's not that heavy, which is nice. In comfort mode, obviously, at least. There is a little bit more weight to it than for example, the X740i that I just drove. But very easy to drive. It's very direct as well. I'm moving the steering wheel a little bit, the car's moving. So it's very direct, very nice, but nothing too crazy in comfort mode. The damping is nice. There's a little bit of bumps here and there, but nothing that throws you around. This is the base level. It's crazy to say that the M850i 523 horsepower 4.4 liter V8 is the base model for this car. Because the previous generation 6 Series came with there was a 640i, which is their V6, and then their 650i, which most of the people got their 650i's, which was probably the reason why BMW was like, hey, you know what, there's no point in bringing out an 840i, even though in some markets I know they do have an 840i, or an 840D or whatever, but in North America you get M850, you just get the M850i xDrive. You get 4-wheel drive, integral octave steering, 4-wheel steering, very comfortable, it's quiet. The V8 is not as loud as you think. In comfort mode, it's actually pretty civilized. But it's when you step on it a little bit more that when you get higher in the RPMs, that's when you hear, okay, there's a little bit more, grunt to it. And that's kind of the reason why you kind of get this car. Is that that sound, which is amazing. And as you guys heard in the startup and the revs, I mean, it just blew my mind. Like, I'm not surprised that the M Performance Division, not the full M cars, the M Performance Division especially, they make really, really nice cars. It doesn't make you, feel like you're missing out on anything. Center of gravity is really low. I want to talk about that. Obviously, I mean, generally this is a very low car, very low, which makes it one of the best looking cars. But on on top of that, this has the $3,000 carbon fiber roof option that I talked about. So, you know, it lowers the center of gravity. There's almost practically no weight on top of this car. You know, carbon fiber almost weighs nothing. And, you know, carbon fiber almost weighs nothing. And there's this Alcantara, which is on top of that even lighter. Going back to the interior, you have your heads-up display, which I talked about. The screen is large enough; it's very nice. Everything's right there. Again, it's slightly tilted this way, and that curve that comes down. Again, that's something that was in the 6 Series as well. I just like that. I keep saying it because I just really like how the 6 Series is one of my favorite cars. I feel like it's such a sleek car, such a nice car, comfortable car, and the fact that they still have that, you know, design cues. And even the looks wise, I mean, this is a very nice looking car, if anything better than the 6 Series, which was already pretty amazing. It's really nice to see that it's still, like, you know, in BMW's lineup, this kind of you know, this comfortable, sporty coupe or Grand Coupe or convertible. So now I'm gonna put into sport mode. You know, the gauges, you know, again, get red. The revs drop a little bit. You know, I'm still in automatic shifting. You hear a little bit more of that V8. The exhaust does open up,
turn,
you know, and you get those backfires.
To Ellerslie Avenue and then immediately turn.
So I just put it into sport mode here. You know, the steering wheel gets you know, stiff. You start hearing those backfires from the exhaust. I don't know if the audio is picking that up, but it's really, really nice. The steering wheel is getting heavy. You feel a little bit more of the bumps on the road. Just an automatic transmission. Manual right now. If I just put into just the sport transmission and just floor it, you know, it just keeps pulling, keeps pulling. You slow down, it drops you down a couple of gears. It just keeps, you know, it keeps intriguing you to try to, like, just keep building, you know, power, and you just want to keep doing that. This car is actually very, very fun to drive. You do have to be mindful. It is a big car. It's not like a small little, you know, darty 4 Series or whatever, or 2 Series. You have to be mindful of the size, and you also have to be mindful of the power. You know, it is all-wheel drive, but, you know, those backfires because it's sport transmission, so it keeps downshifting. But you just have to be mindful that it is a lot of power. You know, if your tires, I talked about this, the tires aren't heated up properly or whatever, you just have to just keep that in mind. Just because we have this car M850i, I'm going to put it into sport mode. I'm going to keep it in manual, and you guys could hear the last few minutes of some exhaust notes while I'm just getting back to the dealership.